In terms of the severe threat for tomorrow, an isolated area overall, but we're talking about that level 2 threat in places like London, Kentucky, all the way in towards Bristol, Tennessee, as you head in towards Knoxville, Chattanooga, Raleigh, North Carolina, Roanoke, Virginia. So that likely threat is going to be something we're looking at where you have the greatest likelihood of seeing the severe weather. The main threat really will be those damaging winds, and you could have some of those gusts right around 60 miles per hour within these areas, along with some hail. There is a tornado threat. It is a low-end threat, but as we've learned and as we know, it's not something you want to disregard. So in these areas, in these cities, is where you just want to be weather aware, especially should those tornado warnings go off. And we'll also be keeping an eye on that as well. Tomorrow afternoon and through the evening hours would be the timing. Timing it out 1 p.m. Eastern time. You have these storms that really get going in through the lunchtime hour, and then they'll continue to flow, you're noticing, from west to east as we head further into tonight. So that is, unfortunately, for many of you, going to impact maybe school pickup, after school activities, or maybe even that evening commute. By midnight, pretty much everything is pushing offshore, but we will watch for that isolated instance and scattered instance of severe weather. For the flash flood threat, we talk about the ground being so saturated. That likely threat is going to be where you could get some of the strongest of the storms, but anywhere across the south where they've seen quite a bit of rain could see some of that isolated flooding, and that's going to be that flash flood threat that lasts tomorrow all the way in through Wednesday morning.
I'm Amy Freeze. Welcome to Fox Weather's YouTube page. We have more great videos on the way, so make sure to subscribe to stay updated on all things weather.